Hey everyone, today we're gonna have the user review, long-term user review of the Aquos R2 Compact. Specifically, this is the soft bank version. I don't know if that matters, but there's two versions of this phone. It came with the SoftBank and the Docomo, and what I have here is the SoftBank, so it's colored green, while in the Docomo they have the black color. So as you can see here, this phone is was released in way back 2018. It's rocking the Snapdragon 845, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage. There's a 5-inch IPS display, which is also 120 Hertz with a 1080p display. Moreover, I'm using here is the 803SH model. Not sure about anything, but yeah, that's the model of my phone. Going to the outside of the phone, we have it here. As I mentioned, it's a 5-inch phone with dual notch display, though I've hidden the notches. So let me show you. Yep, display and notch display settings. You can see it there. Yep, you can see there's the top and there's the bottom notch. On the bottom notch, as you can see here, this may look like a button, but it's not pressable. It's only for fingerprint scanner and some gestures like this, some gestures. And on the top, that's the front camera. It's 8 megapixel camera, while on the back is the 22 megapixel camera with flash and with logo, and then NFC. I don't know if you can see it, but it's an NFC logo there for payment, and that's it. No more writings there. And going to the sides, there's the volume rocker and the power button. These sides is made out of aluminum, so it feels sturdy. And going to the top, we have here the 3.5mm jack, microphone, a mic, and we have the antenna bands on the top. And going to the sides, there's the if you're familiar with if you've been with me on the channel before, and I mostly cover the Xperia compacts. It's almost same as the Xperia phones, wherein you don't need you won't need a lockpick. How would you call it? A SIM ejector pin to take out the micro SD and the SD card. You just need your nails to pull it out, which is fairly easy, and nothing else. And on the bottom, there's the mono speaker. Yes, it's using mono speaker, not stereo, it's mono. So the sound is a little bit on the lower side. And there's a mic and the USB type C and another antenna bands. Now going to the front, as you can see here, it's going with the 120 Hertz. By default, you cannot turn it off, though you could turn it off on each app that supports 120 Hertz. Yeah, while you're having an installed, when you install a new app, you're gonna have the option to either turn on the 120 Hz fast high refresh rate display, as they call it. I can see, I can hear some karaoke. And moreover, the performance here on the phone is still good. Snapdragon 845 is still, though it came out way back 2018, the processor is still fast for day-to-day tasks, though I won't recommend for very heavy gaming. Some might consider, seeing as this phone supports 120 Hz display. And moreover, let's go, as I've talked about this speaker. So let me, there's no speaker on the top, it's only coming from the bottom, almost same as the King 3 Ultra as I've reviewed before, though it does sound fairly loud and clear, but still it's a mono speaker, and when you put your fingers there, you're just covering it. And as for the audio enhancement, there's a Dolby Atmos for music, for movies. You can see it here, music, movies, dynamics, and you could always choose when you're plugging in the headset. There's a, and also there's a custom there. That was a side-loaded Xperia music app. And moreover, let me show you the camera, in case you're all wondering. As you can see it there. Let me take something. Yep, this. The camera is fairly wide, unlike today's modern cameras, wherein it's only going 26 millimeters, going to 35 millimeters now, as I've heard. I think this one is rocking at 20 to 22 millimeters. That's why it's fairly wide. And this phone also have AI. As you can see it there, AI auto. Though it's mostly like the Xperia Superior Auto, where it chooses the best scene for the picture. It doesn't necessarily edit the photos. As you can see it there, 22 megapixel is usable. You could post edit it, unlike today's phones wherein they post edit the AI post edits your photos, so you could just go straight and publish it on Facebook or Instagram. Going to the special features of this phone, in case you're wondering what makes this phone different from specifically from other Xperias, from the compact phones out there, especially the Xperias. They are almost fairly the same. They both came from Japan, and almost same as Xperia. They have the they have their proprietary there's something useful, almost same as the Xperia's. There's the high-speed display, as I mentioned before. Recent apps, all apps, you could choose whether to use 120 Hz on the app itself, on separate apps, so it's not always running. There's also the rich color display, rich color technology. As we all know, the Sharp also manufactures displays, and it's this phone also supports HDR. So there is the 4 options here. There's a recommended. I don't know if you could notice it on the camera. By the way, I'm using the Xperia Z1 Compact as the camera for this review. There's the recommended, there's the standard, there's the dynamic. You could see that you could notice it there. The dynamic is more or less more saturated colors, though my eyes hurts when I'm using this, so I always go to natural. Whenever I have these options, I always go to natural. Also, there's the veil view, which I found it to be unique on this phone. So if you're one of those people who like to have always commute or always on the go with always people on the sides walking with you or sitting with you, there's this very helpful veil view. As you can see here, you could see it on the side. It's like those privacy screen protectors that we buy outside. There's the veil view there, and you could choose different patterns. 4 patterns in total, and you could also customize the density, high, normal to low. It's really there's the HDR, and there's also this high key review. It kind of when this high key review auto adjusts when you're on the very bright scenario or on the very dark scenario or on the night. There's a sensor there that on the top. There's a sensor on the top, and also there's a notification light there, almost the same as the Xperia's. Moreover, the fingerprint sensor, as you may be curious why there's a fingerprint in the front. They could have put it on the side, or could just put it in on screen, but it was 2018 and I believe there were still no in display fingerprint at that time, or there were 1 or 2, but it wasn't that common. As you can see here, you could use it as a home key or a gestures. You could swipe left to return, and swipe it again. Swipe to the right for the recent apps, and swipe it to the left for back. Yeah, it's functional. It's compared to the navigation buttons, although you could hide or unhide them if you wish, but I prefer it like this. And there's this scroll auto. I find it to be really useful when you're just sitting, you're eating, like the picture there, when you're eating and you're reading something and you cannot use your 2 hands, or you're on a passenger, you're commuting and both hands are either busy or one hand is busy with this. I don't know whatever situation you have, but it's as you do it like this. As you can see here, let me show you. It's also usable when you're doing this, reading manhwas. When you're reading something long strips, or you could also adjust the speeds. See there, you could though this function was it was a little bit hard to control when it was in Android 9. Now this phone is rocking the Android 11, which is the last update for this phone. Now, moreover, I think we were lost. Yes. There's an AI there. It's in Japanese. Not sure what this is, but yeah, it looks like an AI assistant. There's a game settings also. Though this game settings, there's only the behavior lock, wherein you can block the notifications and etc. And there's the performance. Either give priority to light actions or high def display. Nothing special there. It's all about the screen. And there's a clip now. There's a clip now wherein you could use a you could easily take a screenshot. Before, the default for the Android is always the pressing down the volume button and the power. As you could see it like that. But with this clip now, you could like just drag it like that, and yeah, which is fairly easy. Though sometimes especially when you're gaming, it may get in the way, so be mindful of that if ever. As showing the genuine sharp keyboard recommended for Aquos. There's the keyboard there, though that's the nine tail keyboard there. 9 keypad, if you're familiar. If you're wondering what noise is coming from, as you can see there's my dogs. There's my dogs playing. I don't know if they're playing or they're quarreling. I will never understand dogs. Though I can say I'm a dog person, but yeah, I have plenty of dogs. And anything more? It's just basic settings. Now, about this phone, when you buy it, you cannot buy this phone. It's 2025 and this phone is a 2018 phone. You can only buy it by second-hand, used or refurbished. As for me, I bought it as refurbished, and it came with Android 9 out of the box. So I had to update it online. And this phone, as you can see it here, mine's running Android 11. If the phone comes with you with Android 9, you could stay it there, because the Android 9 is fairly light. But if you want to update your phone software to Android 11, which is the last update for this phone, you could do so by just Google it. You could just Google it, or the easiest way is just use VPN, Japan VPN. You could use the Japan VPN to connect to the Japan network, and so you could receive the update. Because if you just connect to Wi-Fi or data and try to look for update, you won't get any. It will just say that it's on the latest version of Android. And also, there's a process on doing that. You have to clear your framework, Google framework, Google Play Store, I believe, and then install a Japanese VPN. Connect to Wi-Fi. Don't use any SIM cards. Remove it. Remove your SIM card. Restart your phone. That also helps, though I didn't do it when I did the update. Just connect to the Wi-Fi, connect to the VPN, and voila, the update would show. The update would show on your phone, and updating it is like one by one. It won't go straight to Android 11. It would go step by step, one by one. The update would take like security patch, then the Android 10, then security patch. I think there were 6 security patch for Android 10 and also 6 for Android 11, if I remembered correctly. Also, where else? We cover the camera, We also covered the display, we covered the functions, we covered the fingerprint, we covered the speaker. Also, let's mention about the battery. The battery here is 2500 milliampere. I got my phone refurbished, and the battery was, as I measured on the Accu battery, it was on accurate. It was 2450 something, which was fairly still usable, almost new. And if you're not a gamer, as most people today would rate their phone or only consider reviewing phone if it's a gaming device, is that if you're not one of those gamers, then that only plays Genshin Impact. As long as your phone plays Genshin Impact in 5 FPS, then you could recommend the phone. Then if you're not one of those, then when you're one of those that only consider the functionality, the usability of the phone on the everyday use for a little bit social media, mails, emails, Gmails, some little bit of contents, some especially videos and musics, and the 2500 milliampere on the phone should last you a day, yeah. Though, as I would mention is that, as per my experience, when I'm using Wi-Fi for this phone, and I didn't put any SIM card, I'm not using any mobile data or SIM card, I'm only using the data on Wi-Fi, the phone really lasts a day until night for me, even with those media consumptions. But when I put the SIM card in, I'm not sure if it's me, my network, or the signal in my area, is that it's always though my data plan on my SIM card is unlimited 5G with 4G or non-stop 4G data. Though that non-stop 4G data is capped, especially when you're viewing on the YouTube, and especially when you've gotten over your mobile data cap, which is I think for 4G on my plan is like 10 gig, and after that it's gonna throttle. The network's gonna throttle. Yeah, the signal speed's gonna throttle, and I think that's one of those things to consider, because when your network's throttling and your phone's struggling for signal, and you're also doing streaming, downloading, downloading, and etc., also social media, and those things throttles the phone. I don't know, it as it's on my experience, it's also happening on my 4G phones, when I'm on the 5G plan with an inclusive of 4G plan, data plans that are exclusive to 5Gs. It throttles the phone. It doesn't throttle the phone, but the signal throttles. That's why the phone struggles with the signal. And there's that. I find that the battery, the phone really gets warm, and it struggles with those speeds. Not sure. That's why the battery suffers with the heat, with the throttling, and I always get like a low screen on time on those. I think I just talked for 4 minutes nonsense there. And what else didn't we cover? For accessories, in case you're wondering, you're gonna buy this phone and there's no accessories online where you can buy. I only found this kinds of accessories online. this ring, this metal ring, I just put it there for my power bank. I just found jelly case like this online. See, like this. I thought some were different, but I think they're almost all the same. And luckily, when I bought my phone, it had the tempered glass installed, because this phone only have a tempered glass, Gorilla Glass 3 protection. And Gorilla Glass 3 was like, I remember way back Samsung Galaxy S3. I'm not sure. It was, I'm not, so that's why I'm not really brave enough to do it naked like I do with my Xperia XZ1 Compact, because that phone had the Gorilla Glass 4, which was fairly upgraded compared to Gorilla Glass 3. And since we mentioned the battery, the charging, this phone charges rapidly at around 45 to 50 minutes. Yeah, it's 2018, so that kind of charge is considered rapid. Though this 2025, we have the 100 watts, 80 watts, 50 watts, 120 watts charging, where it can charge the phone in 30 minutes to 100%. Though this phone, it accepts the quick charge 3.0, 18 watts, and anything like that, and it will only charge normally, either charge slowly or charge normally. So make sure, check your charger, or ask the seller to include the quick charge 3.0 in the box. And my seller did, though I think he sent me a used charger, but overall he gave me a free charger. And as for the case, when it's on the hand, it's fairly still compact, though running it naked feels better on the hands, because of the aluminum sides, which you could feel the premium compared to today's phones that are made out of plastic. You could feel it's more premium than the XZ1 Compact, in my opinion, because and also the feeling on the hands is that there's no, like the XZ2 Compact, wherein there it's the corners are rounded. It's fairly good in the hands, but compared to the XZ2 Compact, it was thick. The XZ2 Compact was thick and a little bit taller with its bezel on top, bottom, and it was curved like a soap bar design. I don't have it right now because I'm living on a different place. And compared to that, the thickness on this one is comparable to XZ1 Compact, as I did on the initial review. And though if we do want to do gaming on this phone, I'm sorry, I think I don't have game address. Let me just show you a simple. If you do you consider this as a gaming phone because of its screen, 120 Hz refresh rate, and it's compact. When you're playing intensive games, I recommend getting a phone cooler, because it's not, as we should know, is that Snapdragon 845 was and still is a hot mess. Yep, when pushing this phone, it gets really warm, though not to the point where it's gonna burn your hands or anything, but it's gonna be warm. And being warm is also a good thing, because the phone's cooling is still effective, though I do still recommend getting a phone cooler, especially when you're when you want to play these intensive games. And I think that's it. That's all I could show you. As you can see it there. See, camera is good. Let's discuss more on the camera in case. Let's just do it in a one video, though it's gonna be long. But it's not gonna be. This camera could shoot at 4K, Full HD and Full HD 60 FPS. The front camera could do it 7.4 megapixels, though it's rounded off at 8 megapixels. There's also a slow-mo video for this, wherein you could do it 120 FPS or 240 FPS. It's 1080p. There's also a time lapse, which is fairly nice. And I think that's all on the camera. And as for the let me show you about the video. Let me look at any video quality of this phone. Here's a video quality. See it there? That's my 3 dogs, though they're not my dogs, they're more like my neighbor's dogs that always comes to my place for food. Yep, so we're going 32 minutes now, and that's my long-term user review of the Aquos R2 Compact. Now, in case you're wondering, do I recommend it? Do I recommend it for 2025? Should you go out now and go buy this phone and order it online, or if you found it to be on sale, should you go and buy it? Well, there's gonna be 2 scenarios for that. If you're looking for a second backup phone that could do everything, it's a small compact backup phone that could do everything for your music, your medias, your cameras, your calls, your texts, everything for your daily task. Yes, this phone is still usable and it's fairly compact. As you can see it in my hand, it's almost the same size as the Xperia XZ1 Compact, though this phone is a little bit more powerful, and it's also got expandable memory. If you're looking for a compact gaming phone, I don't know if it's, though you could buy cheaper phones out there for gaming, mid-range phones, then yeah, this is still usable. Another is that if you're really compact phone enthusiast, and you're one of those people that can't handle the big phones, because today we're going at the minimum of 6.3 and above phones, 6.3 inches and above phones, and you can even put those phones on your pocket, and you want something casual that could be used as your daily driver, then this phone can still do it. Though most of us may be concerned about it won't be getting any Android update, so most of us will be concerned about the securities, banking apps, or anything, or whatnot. It should be your choice. Not recommending it to use it as your banking app or whatnot, or just use the websites for those banking apps, as banking apps always require you to update every week. So what's the point? Just use the website, and it's more secured. That's what I do with this phone. as I've used it for almost 2 months now as a daily driver. And one con, and I think that's it. And I think I mentioned mostly over the pros of this phone, but let me mention some cons. Some con of buying this phone is that it's still expensive compared to some other phones. The mono speaker, though it's always lucky draw when you're buying this phone, because some I think some users bought their phones and their batteries were already degraded, as I got lucky with my unit. Some other cons, there's still the Japanese apps, some Japanese bloatwares wherein you cannot uninstall, you could only disable them. I think that's it. Any more cons? And I'll update, maybe I'll update, make an updated video in case. But this video is already 36 minutes long, and yeah, let's end the video there. Let's just make another in case we got an update for this phone. We make an update on the performance of the phone.